Welcome to the Flex Forward podcast, where grit meets growth. With your host, Nic Espanet, bringing you stories of resilience, reinvention, and the real climb to success.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Flex Forward podcast. Today, we're joined by Joyjit Roy. Joyjit is in the AI world. He works for Kforce. He's got a lot of neat stuff it sounds like he's doing. So I'm going to let him give you a little more detail into that. Joy, glad to have you. Can you let our listeners know a little bit more about you and about what you do in your day-to-day roles?
Sure. Thanks for having me, Nick, and thanks for this opportunity. So this is Joyjit, and I have more than 21 years of experience in IT industry. So I started my career as a software developer and then transitioned to a program manager around 10, 11 years back. So since last 3-4 years, while I've been managing large-scale, multi-year, cross-functional enterprise-grade programs, I was, working on migrating AI into the systems as well. So I worked for Dell for 9 years. Prior, I worked for Kforce, and my current end client through Kforce is USAA, United Services Automobile Association, and they are migrating the legacy services to a cloud-based service in AWS where AI is heavily involved. So since last 1.5 years and prior to that, when I worked for Dell, almost around 1 year, I work on a lot of AI programs.
Okay.
Most of those are like pilot programs because now AI is kind of the investment towards experimenting and pilot programs to see where it scale and what benefit that can be reaped by the organization. So most of those are pilot programs, but since last 1 year, I've been closely working on a program which is migrating AI in the journey of modernizing the dwelling insurance of USAA. So basically the insurance domain or regulated industries, they are practicing AI in real life. They are still in development phase, but we're anticipating sometime next year, the whole new modernized system with support of AI go live. So that's a little bit background of myself. So basically, even being a senior leader, I have to be very, technology savvy, and also have to have a strong product understanding and mindset. So that's the background of my AI journey. Apart from that, despite that, I actually completed a postgraduate diploma on AI/ML from University of Texas, UT. And after that, I have done completed a lot of certifications from AWS and Azure, like Machine Learning Associate certification, which is an architect level certification in AI, which gives me a lot of strong, technical knowledge on AI, and that is helping me to make this program successful.
That's awesome. And you talked about everything being, just so new. I was at a real estate conference last week, and one of the breakouts was on AI, and the guy said something that hit home. He's like, what we're using right now is like AOL was for email 20 years ago, or maybe it's like everything we're using now is probably not going to be around in 15 or 10 or 20 years because we're going to have something even better, and we just don't even know what it is right now. So it's fascinating.
That's true. So we are in a stage of understanding AI more rather than implementing. Understanding and experimenting and run pilot programs, but AI is like a little, something completely new. So whatever existed previously or whatever happened during the .com, movement, right? It was fast, but now we know that we have that history. AI is not going to follow that path. We believe, right? Those who know AI from core, they believe that AI definitely be moving much faster than how .com actually changed the world. It will be changing much faster in a different way, right? It could be definitely at the end goal is to make the whole, get the benefit out from AI for the whole human being, right? That's the end goal. But we do not know how it will unfold the story. So that's actually some surprising, and that's why this all uncertainties around the AI. Is there a lot of people say AI bubble, but could be, ultimately we realize that at the end of the day, AI is going to help us in a lot better way, and it will be much beneficial for the human being or humankind.
No, I think so too. No, I'm in the real estate world, and just we started hearing buzz of it 2 years ago. I mean, we've heard a little bit, but everything it's still is yet to really benefit much. It helps us with answering. I take that back. It streamlines our calls because with leasing we want to get back to people, but our staff's busy and may not call someone back for a day or two. But the chat bots have gotten so much more realistic and thorough that they can get stuff set up, get appointments booked. We've had prospective tenants walk in and say, "Hey, I want to meet Susie or whatever our chatbot's name is." We're like, "Oh, well, that's our AI not person AI interaction through the phone and through text," and so that they're coming in wanting to meet it's not even a real person that's been communicated, but it's getting those appointments, tours set up, and things that whereas they may have, if our person wouldn't have called them back for the real person for 24, 48 hours, they probably have moved on to a different property, toured, and maybe already signed a lease. So it is helping us be able to capture those leads a lot better. And I think it's just going to explode I think we're just scratching the surface.
Exactly. This is actually the tip of the iceberg, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, how we get familiar to AI, that revolution started from 2023. Though the transformer model, right, that's actually a model which actually is the pioneer of this revolution. And the master of all these LLMs, chatbot, right, and ChatGPT, Claude, right? So that LLM is, the first, it was, I think, 2017 it was being introduced, or 16.
Okay.
A book came actually, that attention is all we need, right? So Andrew Ng is the, invention. He invented this model. So throughout this journey, right, this is actually what we see is not only AI is. The LLMs that we use, all the Claudes or code assistants or Copilot or a lot of other stuff that we use or we see around AI, this is just the tip of the iceberg. It's much deeper, right? There are lots of things. For an example, right, in business, not everything is like conversation or large language model oriented, LLM oriented, right? There could be a lot of lot of assistance that the business needs where language is not needed, but logistic conclusion needed, right? So there are a lot of other models that can be used that are being implemented, like companies are investing on that. Important thing is that the robotic intelligence, right? That's completely AI. And that is another area that will flourish. We personally believe it will flourish very fast once we have the quantum, get into the quantum world, basically, right? And that's another quantum QML. There's a term, quantum machine learning, that's evolving very soon, right? So basically what I'm saying that there are a lot of capabilities of AI apart from large language model, but we see that only part because that is coming to us as a tool and that is accessible to us through a tool, right? But there are a lot of things that business can get benefit out of AI. There are many models that can be implemented in different applications, different way, right? And with the help of this agentic model, we can migrate a lot of things together, right? And make it the AI really autonomous.
Right. That's very interesting.
That's the future. Basically, we see the future in that directions. It might take some time on the way. There could be some disruptions, but ultimately we know that AI will be changing the whole world in the next probably 3 to 5 years.
Wow. So fast. Well, that's in this AI and IT world, there's probably tons of competition. What is something that has helped you kind of set you apart, or maybe you found easy to understand or connect and communicate that others may have found challenging?
So basically, one thing we need to understand, the companies, I'm not sure, let me get back and give you some data before we start this topic, right? So last year, there was a report from MIT that 95% of the AI investment failed. And why? So organizations, IT industry is still trying to understand why, right? So it is because that AI is not like normal. When the cloud migration happened, cloud is infrastructure. When .com happens, is technology boom, right? .com boom. But AI is a little different, though it is part of the IT, part of technology, definitely. But AI is different. And how it is different? It is actually that leaderships, program managers, product managers, they're integral part of anything you do, not only the developers, right? So AI is so technically deep, the rooted, that the leaders has to understand AI technically, or the core of the AI. If they don't understand, they might not be able to find the best use cases or
Gotcha.
best business cases, right? That's the gap, not the developer. Developer just follow the instructions or the, what to do, right?
Yeah.
But the decision has happened at the leadership level. And a lot of leadership, they are actually treating like AI as something like the cloud modernizations, what happened 10 years back or what happened 20 years back when dot-com boom happened, right? That mindset that needs to be changed to integrate AI. That is first thing, right? So another thing is for AI, the scope is so huge and it is moving so fast, right? So catching up is very hard. So a lot of time and dedication needed. And the third point here is, at dot-com boom, what happened? All the coding has been done manually by human. Right? There is a steady progress. You need time to do that. Now, 30 days of code can be done in 2-3 hours by AI. Right? So see the possibility that not only AI is actually changing the business architecture, it's actually helping to complete the code without human. Right? So
In a lot,
that means,
a
yes,
fraction of the time, right?
fraction of a time. So that's why I'm saying 3 to 5 years, right? We are optimistic, right? Because that we know that whatever we need to implement, right or wrong, it would be very fast. We do mistakes, we learn from there, we make it better. Again, we do mistake, we learn from there, we make it better. But things will happen very fast, very unprecedented, and very faster. So those companies, those organizations, right? Particularly the regulated industry, right? Where trust is more important because of trust and other issues, they are not even venturing the AI world. It's actually a wake-up call for them. They need to invest on AI so that they don't get behind in the race. Because when AI start getting productive, like even it is 40%, 30% getting productive, all the companies will jump into that and it will reduce the cost, overall cost too low. So if a competitor is implementing AI, they will actually get a huge edge on the market to gain the business. So that's the benefit of AI that we see that's coming. What we feel like in 2026 is too early. We're anticipating it by 2026 things will happen, but it is a little slower, right? But if things goes as we are anticipating, 2027, 28 would be, we'll see more and more, and it will be like in an accelerated motion. It'll
exponential, right? Where it's just taking off. Well, that's so exciting. So as you've kind of gone through your journey, have you utilized anything that you to help you become better at AI or personal habits? Do you have any tips that you would like to share with the listeners, like books you've read or podcasts you like to listen to, anything like that's helped you in your journey?
Well, one thing I realized, and probably I was lucky when I took a decision that I'll complete the postgraduate diploma on AI. That was a 9 months course. And that actually helped me to understand the AI from core, the core conceptual AI, not like LLM. It was started with statistics, right? And that I believe if I would not have done that, diploma course, right, I probably will living in a misconception about AI. So my advice to everyone who is listening this podcast, that don't use AI as a tool. Obviously use it, but do not limit yourself within that the application of AI, which is just a tool, or if you want to move ahead in your career with AI, right? Make sure you understand the AI from core. It could be any other way. If you want to complete a higher education like masters on AI, do it if you have the time. If you want to do a short course, a diploma course, a 9-month course, there are a lot of certification. MIT is offering some certification. UT, which I did, they are offering some certification, very fraction of cost, right? So go and do those. If you are a developer, if you are a leader for them, right, there are lots of courses. Learn the AI from core. And when you choose the course, do not just choose those short course like 2-3 days of course. No, that won't help AI. Find something which actually
deeper,
little longer, and it will teach you from the core. And for developers, it is very important. They have to learn the AI from core. And most of this would be self-learning because they are actually on the field. So they should be able to get time. But there are some certification that NVIDIA AWS or this is only for the developers, AWS or Azure offering, those has very rich content and deep content that will help you to even venture in AI. If you are in AWS, go and do the AWS certificate on AI. Good one. If you are in Azure, do the same, right? NVIDIA actually giving certificate, which actually not any particular AI cloud stack. It will be overall. So whatever your choice is, find something, learn as soon as possible, because that's going to help you to grow. I'm not alarming the bell that is mandatory something. You can learn in many other ways also. But now it is the time that we as a human being who are actually wanted to build our career around AI need to learn AI from the.
Sure. Well, it's almost like using a mentor in any other walk of life. You get that education, the deeper understanding, because we're on the front edge, but it's going to, like you said, be so much faster than any other development that we've had. From the Industrial Revolution to the .com to the cloud, it's like everything gets shorter and faster.
Yes, things will move very faster, even though nowadays normal things also, moving very fast, right? Mm-hmm. So, and that's the history of humankind, right? As we progress in towards the more modernized, civilized species, things are actually expedited faster.
Yep.
And AI is actually with help of this, self-autonomous structure that which they can do their work by themselves with bare minimum instructions. Things would be much faster going forward.
Yeah, for sure. So what's one of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome in your career path?
So the biggest challenges if you are concerned about this AI journey, the biggest challenge is to find the right application of AI. Right. So I have seen in my last 3 years of journey to migrate to AI, that finding the right use case of AI is the most important thing. Otherwise, you will be implementing something it's not useful and even probably not even scalable. Doesn't even work in future. It is just be a throwaway work, right? So what I realized that I'm at actually a mid-level leadership, right? So but the top leaders, they have a tendency, and I'm not addressing to particular leadership group, but it is in general I have seen the top leader leadership has a tendency to use AI to gain the market attention. Conversation AI will implement conversation AI. That means if you want to place the order Amazon, you don't need to use the laptop or phone. You need just a device, and you over conversation you complete the order, right? So what it helps, it will actually catch the attention of the market. So that means the market know that your company is implementing AI, and that will help you to gain business. It's not working that way. I'm just giving an example as the business. Yeah. Because conversation AI we do not have much data. So data is the heart of AI. Okay. AI is all trained with data. Any model you say, the more rich data you have, the better the model perform.
Yeah, right? Makes sense.
So the conversation AI, if it doesn't have the data enough, right, it doesn't scale and it doesn't work the way you were anticipating. So rather, if that investment goes to some core functionality. For an example, we have a lot of logistic functionality in different industry. For an example, e-commerce, right? Warehouse maintenance, right? So all these things. We have millions of years of data, or like millions of bytes of data, and each company has their own database, rich data sets, database like years of data, right? If they implement that investment to modernize the warehouse, logistic functionality with help of AI, right? Make it more autonomous, where the prediction would be more real time and more perfect. They will reap up more benefit out of that rather than investing that money for a conversation AI. It might not be eye catchy. It might not get the attention of the market, right? Too much, because nobody can see that. But for business, it is more beneficial. So
finding the efficiency.
Yes. Finding the use case for the top leaders, the leaderships, right? Across the IT organization, leadership to understand where AI can be used, it's more important. And for that, leadership has to understand the AI from core, not like at a surface area.
Yeah.
That's the biggest challenge I face. And explaining that is really sometimes difficult, because leadership come with a strong mindset, right? So that need a lot of reasoning back and forth to explain them the use cases. And that is what we are continuously trying to do, to find the right use cases for our leaders.
It's awesome. Not like you got a good focus on trying to get get your leaders set up for success, so you all can have success. So that's awesome. Well, congratulations. Sounds like things are going very well in your business and things are going well. And it's what I see a lot often is as folks become more and more successful, start looking at the future and thinking about different ways to maybe maintain their income or improve it without having to work as many hours. Have you ever considered investing in alternative investments, mutual funds, bonds, or real estate? Any other opportunities like that?
I do invest in stocks, right? But yeah, apart from stocks, I probably not ventured in any other mutual funds and all that much, right? But yes, if given an opportunity, time is actually definitely a big concern, right? The IT guys have very less time.
Sure.
Right? But yes, if a right opportunity comes, or if I can spend time to know where I'm investing, definitely I'd be interested.
Definitely, you want to learn, and for sure. So, as we're wrapping up the interview, do you have any exciting plans or initiatives in the next 6 to 12 months?
Not as such plan, but in terms of initiative, actually, I've been actively doing a lot of research on AI and doing a lot of publication. Very recently, there's a journal published that actually combined two different models and helping business to overcome or predict customer churn better, right? So it'll actually give a prediction that what you anticipate, how much customer churn would be for the next quarter. And based on that data, you can take corrective actions so that new, research came out, and I've been doing a lot of researches, and my plan is that I'll be continue researching so that I can add some value in this ever-changing AI world. It's changing very fast. A lot of research are going on, and it is unprecedented the way the research has been spiked on AI. So everywhere you see, at least even though I'm in IT industry, I have a good hold on the academic and how things are progressing because of my own interest. I would like to venture and continue in that further so that I can just contribute to, through the advancement of AI.
That's awesome. Well, I think it's going to touch every walk of life, anywhere from, I'm in the real estate world. We're looking at it in our offices, how to work with our tenants, how to take on work orders and make sure they're efficiently triaged and taken care of, just in the legal world. And, even if you hear, air conditioned HVAC people or plumbers are not going to need, but their business is going to need to be efficient, to how to get their customers service faster. You're always going to need somebody to install the air conditioner, but still, when they go to work on it in the future, they're going to probably use AI to diagnose that. Say it's 5 years down the road and it's not working as efficiently or it's broken. I would think they're going to utilize AI at that time to, at the very least, order the parts, or, because I've fixed my dryer for our laundry at our house, and I just put in, it's making this sound, and it gave me step-by-step videos on how to do it. And, just that simple. So it's going to be in everybody's life very, very soon.
Yeah, good point. And Nick, to conclude this in that context, right? I just need to add one thing. We have a good theory here. So anything that the computer is doing nowadays, for an example, when you're talking about the AC example, you have to plug the computer AC to the computer to diagnosis. So anything that you sit and take help from computer to do, that will be replaced by AI faster. That's the stage one. And then stage two would be all the things which you are not using computer. Or for an example, cooking or as minor operations or even a complex operations. All these things, you are not doing it in computer, not digitizing. Those things will be, in the phase two, where robotic intelligence will kick in. Probably it's the next boom or phase of AI, and it'll happen very fast. It'll not like it happens and then after a long era, 10 years of stabilization. No, we are very close to, robotic.
I think there's already some operations.
But it's at a very, surface level.
Yeah.
Right? It is not impacting our day-to-day activities, like the way AI is doing in IT industry. But once everything will be, modernized, like all the digitized work move to AI, right? Then the next wave will come into this. So these are the two waves that we are anticipating going forward in the next 10 to 15 years, but eventually it will happen.
Well, Joy, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing with the listeners tips and insights. If people would like to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
I have my email ID, my first name, Joyjit, dot my last name Roy, Roy, and first name spelling is Joyjit, Joyjit.roy, ROY at gmail.com. Simple. So
Awesome. Thank you so much. What a very insightful interview we had today. Thanks everyone for listening. Be sure to like and share this episode and pass it along. And Joy, thank you. I've learned a ton, and a lot of it I got to go and digest it and learn more. But I really appreciate you come on and sharing with our listeners today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Nick.
Thanks for listening to the Flex Forward podcast. If you've got grit, growth, and a great story, visit flexforwardpodcast.com/guest to apply and join us on the show.